Can you begin by talking about how you feel about doing this?
I am on a search, a quest for peace, for world peace. And I don't want anybody in my space who does not represent or who is not trying to bring people together. I'm not into separatism.
So can you talk about a little bit about what your style says about you?
That I'm free to be whatever and whomever I want to be. My mama's youngest sister always preached to us that we were free people of color, that we were not subordinate to anyone, and that we should be proud of our ancestry. That's the way I was raised.
Can you take off your scarf and just drop it on the floor? What do you think are some assumptions that people might make about you when they first see you or when they see you from afar?
I think that they think I'm brave because a lot of people tell me that. You sure are brave to do that with your hair. But I don't feel brave, I just feel secure. I think the color of my hair complements my beautiful brown skin, and I like that. In 1962, I guess it was, a Chrysler Corporation Space Division moved to New Orleans. I got a call from Chrysler Corporation saying, we'd like to offer you a job. And maybe in 1964, I was watching TV late one night, and Abbey Lincoln, whom I'm sure y'all know was a famous jazz singer, I saw Abby, and she had cut her hair off into a natural. And I went, and my husband was practicing. I went in the room and I said, I need you to do me a favor. He said, yeah, what? I'm practicing right now. I said, I want you to cut my hair off. He said, cut your hair off? And I said, yeah, like Abbey Lincoln, so I want it cut like that. I had a relaxer in it to make it straight. I wanted to feel my Africanism. Well, the next morning, I got on the bus across the street from the school, and black people didn't want me to sit next to them. I sat down next to somebody, and the woman got up and moved and went and sat somewhere else. When I get to my job, and I'm working in a high security place at the Space Administration, through inner office mail, I received an inner office envelope. And when I opened it, it had a note in it that said, go back where you came from. And there was a bone in it and a feather. And the note said, the bone is for your nose and the feather is for wherever you want to put it. I was like, they don't even know me. What are they talking about? Who did this? I felt like all of the blood had drained out of my body. And at the time, I noticed that, like, men especially were always looking at me, and then one of the
White or black people?
white. So one day, one of them, who was like a major player, came over to me and he said, are you tired? And I said, no, why should I be tired? He said, because I chased you around in my dream all night. And I was very insulted, but I was also afraid. I didn't want to take it any further because I wanted that job. And I thought that if I had acted up on my feelings, I probably would have lost the job. I started wearing clothes that didn't have a shape to them. Not moo-moos, but, you know, things that were loose. I never wanted to show my shape because I didn't want anybody being attracted or interested in me. Out of maybe 20,000 employees, there might have been 8 black people, period.
What did that feel like?
Strange. It's like when I leave to go out to the parking lot to get my car to go home, and I turned around and looked behind me. All I saw was a sea of white men in either blue or black pants, white shirts, and blah-looking neckties. And I'm going, God, is that what this world is coming to? Is this my future?
What do you mean by that?
Am I going to have to conform to this standard of being vanilla and not who I am? That's not me. I'm all about color. The first time I felt like I belonged a place was in 1972 when I arrived in Accra in Ghana. And all of the women looked like me, they were shaped like me, and I said, I wish more black females had the opportunity to see their own image, a reflection of themselves, and not get so caught up in hair and wigs and weaves and being hoochie mamas and whatever else they're wanting to be, and twerking. I just found out what that was, by the way. I think that there's a lot of ignorance in this country, and today a lot of people are just feeling so disenfranchised that they don't know how it feels to feel good. You can be whatever you want to be, and there's Barack as an inspiration, who has a swagger out of this world. In fact, I always have been saying, all I want is a swag like Barack and arms like Michelle, and I'll be all right. But until people are taught to respect their fellow man and to be compassionate and not criticize somebody because they're living under the overpass, they're not living under the overpass by desire. I think it has more to do with design. My cousin's daughter lives in Philly now, and she came home from school one day last week and told her mommy, the kids called me a monkey. I'm not a monkey, I'm a person. And so she said, yes, you are. And she said, well, who were these kids? She said, these were the white kids in my class. And so, well, Tangi's immediate reaction was, oh, well, maybe I should put her in another school. And I said, she can't run away from life. She can't run away. She has to face it and be able to deal with it.
When was the last time you cried?
Interesting. I can't cry. I cried when Malcolm X got assassinated. I cried when M.L. King got assassinated. And I cried when JFK got assassinated.
What about when your son passed away?
Did not cry. I did not cry when my husband died. My son died 1 year, 1 week, and 1 day after my husband. I want to, I desperately want to, but I can't. And I think part of it may have been from growing up and being told that people who cry, that crying is a sign of weakness, and I couldn't exhibit that. I think it came from my family not wanting anyone to think that they weren't strong enough to handle whatever was dished out to them.
Can you explain what you think was different about those three?
The times that I did cry, because they meant a lot to me.
Earlier you said that this is the first time that you've ever really been afraid being here, being in this country because of the election. Can you talk about that?
The primary reason I'm afraid is because I think that the president-elect is just so narcissistic, and I pray every night, God, please grant him the ability to be able to discern what is right and what is wrong, and to have a good and decent heart. I pray for him.
Can you talk about when you feel the most vulnerable?
I feel vulnerable being a citizen of the United States who might be a target for eradication.
When do you feel the most beautiful?
When I look at my beautiful brown skin and I tell myself, oh my God, you're so beautiful and brown. I really do. There's something you said that made me realize that, the whole issue that I have about scars, I'm now seeing it as a triumph. Going somewhere else is where I have a defibrillated pacemaker. I have a knee replaced here. I had a gallbladder taken away from here. I've had a colon removed, and still I rise.
That's amazing. Thank you.
You're welcome.
How do you feel right now?
I feel good. And I'm very excited about having had the opportunity to meet the crew and to find out that there really are some nice people out here.